Hello, viewers. Today we're going to do the game Botvinnik versus Levenfish. This game was played in the USSR Championship in Moscow in the year 1940. Botvinnik had the white pieces and he started with c4. Levenfish played e5, knight to c3, knight to f6, knight to f3, knight to c6, and Botvinnik played d4 for activity and development. Many strong grandmasters play this also today. E takes on d4, knight takes on d4, bishop to b4, and Botvinnik played bishop to g5, not fearing the doubling of the pawns on the c file. Objectively, this line isn't the best for white, but Botvinnik always liked having doubled pawns for its strategic purposes, and he likes also playing the white side of the Nims of Indian. Here, it's structurally I guess this could be structurally serious, but Botvinnik treats this position very geniusly. And so h6 was played, bishop to h4, and now bishop takes on c3 check, b takes on c3. And as compensation, Botvinnik has the bishop pair, and it's going to give him a strong middle game. Knight to e5 was played, attacking c4. Although another idea could be d6. Knight takes on c6, b takes on c6, and c5, giving black possibly triple pawns in an ending. Anyway, knight to e5, e3 was played, because after f4, knight to g6, bishop takes on f6, queen takes on f6, g3, knight f8, bishop g2, knight e6, castles, e4, d6, queen d2, knight c5, rook a, e1. White's greater central control is a good compensation for a bad structure. This is Kramnik versus Karpov game played. Anyway, back to the game. Knight to g6, bishop to g3, and knight to e4 was played, going for the bishop pair or an attack on the c3 pawn. And this could be argued that d6 is better, which is developing a piece instead of moving the same piece twice. But we shall see Botvinnik's treatment of this double move. Queen c2 is played, knight takes on g3, and h takes on g3. And the thing is with that bishop on the g3 square, it was actually, I would say it was somewhat of a bad bishop, although there's these some light square pawns. But I think most of the pawns were on dark squares anyway, so it's not a terrible loss. And now, after d6, Botvinnik plays this strong f4 move, grabbing more space and denying black use of the e5 outpost. And the backwardsness of the e pawn is not serious, because there's no good way to add pressure. Maybe even the king can go to f2 and defend it. This is a decent position. Queen to e7 was played, and of course king to f2. And now black played knight to f8. And this is a sort of underestimating the timing sort of move. The better move would be c5. And now after knight to f3 or knight to f5. There's bishop takes on f5, queen takes on f5, queen e6, which is good for black. So knight to f3 must be played, or more favored. And now bishop to d7, bishop to d3, and castle queenside. And suddenly black's position is pretty strong, and it's black's doing well, a lot more well compared to the game, with the knight moving a second time, or actually a third time, I think. Botvinnik plays c5, preventing black from playing c5 and misplacing Botvinnik's knight in a favorable way. And now black played d takes on c5, which is not really the best move. The best move, I think, is knight to h7. And now, after c takes on d6, c takes on d6, bishop b5 check. Or wait. Yeah, bishop b5 check. King f8. The position is inferior but playable, and better than what happened in the game. And so after d takes on c5, Botvinnik played this bishop to b5 check. So yeah, that shows the brilliancy. This is a clearance move, c5. So that's also the real purpose behind his strong idea and perfect timing of that idea. And now this guy, Levenfish, plays knight to d7. Instead, bishop to d7 should be tried. And of course, the obvious c6 allows this nice tactic of this. And the rook's gone. So this should be tried. And now after knight to f5, attacking the queen, queen to f6. Queen e4, check. Knight to e6. Bishop takes on d7. King takes on d7. Rook h to d1, check. King to c8 and rook a to b1. And rook to b8. Black is hanging on, but it's very dangerous and lots of pressure in control of the board. White is displaying. So now knight to d7 was played. Knight to f5. And now queen to f6 was played. And now Botvinnik played rook a to d1, just building up on the d7 knight. And Levenfish played g6, just trying to hold things together and weaken Botvinnik's position. Although it's better than a6 losing, which loses immediately, to queen e4 check, king to d8, bishop takes on d7, bishop takes on d7, and queen takes on b7, rook to c8, rook takes on d7 check, king takes on d7, and I think there's a checkmate somewhere with rook d1. I guess it recommends queen d4, but let's see. Let's try that if you go here, you just take the rook and it's mating soon. So this is probably a practical idea, but then this mates like this. So yeah, it's mate and all variations. And so back to the game. G6 was played. And now Botvinnik has this knight takes h6. And Levenfish played rook to f8, but now Botvinnik plays g4. This is just bringing another piece in to misplace black's defenders, which is in this case the queen. He's threatening like g5, and this is there's just so much pressure going on. a6 was played, and now g5. Queen to e6 was played, and now I guess, okay, seemingly we have to move the bishop here, but where is it best placed? Has it done its job on that diagonal? Well, Botvinnik thinks yes, and so Botvinnik played bishop to e2, just going for this bishop to g4, just rerouting it. Like, it's almost as if he knew he was going to play e6, and like after he played g4, and so yeah, it's just like Botvinnik's a psychic here, and he just anticipated the bishop is going to have to move to the better diagonal. Knight to b6 was played, and another idea he could try is let's see, a5, but then knight to g4 would come. So, and this is just these weak squares are just too much. Like it just allows this amazing infiltration in that variation. So back to the game. Yeah, knight to b6 was played, and now Botvinnik played bishop to g4. Or no, knight to g4, and king to e7 was played. And now Botvinnik takes the f6 square with the knight. This is just an incredible outpost. This knight is way stronger than a rook, and it's like an octopus just in the position. Queen to c6 was played, and now rook to h7, just completely building up on Levenfish's king. And it's also, here it's threatening queen takes on g6 with the pin. Now bishop to f5 was played, stopping that threat. But after e4, Botvinnik's response, bishop to e6 was played. And now Botvinnik the game ended here with Botvinnik playing f5. And the engine here gives a plus 6.15 for Houdini. Just this is not going to be held, and one possibility after f5 is g takes on f5, e takes on f5, and bishop d7, bishop f3 attacking the queen, queen to a4, trying to diffuse this, but after queen e2 check, the lights out happens after king to d8 with rook takes on f7, and mate is coming on e8, or if the rook takes. This was a brilliant game, and it shows the importance of prioritizing the best development instead of moving the same piece twice with some kind of brilliant positional idea, but there's just not enough time to implement it. And yes, I hope you enjoyed the game, and thanks for watching. See you soon.